big myth here is I put $5,000 in, I get that $5,000 back, or I put $5,000 in, I get $10,000 back. That's only on a few things. Most things do not have the immediate 100% return on investment unless... Well, welcome to the fun and mentals of real estate. I got a question of the day for you, Glenn.
Yeah?
What home upgrades actually make you money or drain your bank account?
Yeah, that's a great question because it's springtime. We're doing our spring cleaning. We got through the winter. Now we're thinking maybe some projects. And we're going to look at this a couple different ways. One, maybe I'm getting my home ready for sale. Maybe I just want to do some upgrades because my house is dated. So you are an expert on this. Maybe you don't think you are, but I think you are just because you've been in this game so long. So what is the number one best return on my investment to upgrade my home?
Oh my gosh. So people ask all the time. They'll call me and they'll say, hey, should I make this upgrade? Shouldn't I? Right. First of all, this is like we talked about when investing. Yeah. So just like stock market, some people are day traders.
Right. Some people are going to hold it for the long term.
Some people are going to be the long term. So it's time is part of this equation. When you say, which upgrade should I make, or should I remodel my kitchen? Should I take that wall out? Right. Should I finish my basement, right? So these things are all relative to time, because the best return on investment, when you look it up and you're researching it, or you're hearing people talk about it, it's immediate return on investment.
And what would that be?
Oh, that would be clean and paint.
Cleaning and paint. You know, it's funny because that's the simplest one. I would have went into tearing the back of the house off and a big project, whatever. It's simple.
It's clean and paint. So if you are right now thinking about selling your house, or what do I got to do to get declutter, clean, paint. And you know what? Sells, I got to tell you.
Even if I'm not thinking about selling my house, let's just say it just seems a little bit worn. I don't want to break the bank. Deep clean, declutter, and paint.
Oh my gosh, it's like a brand new house. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to keep resale in mind when doing any upgrades, residential real estate is all about emotion, right?
Interesting.
Logic buys the house.
Right.
Emotion drives the price.
That's fascinating, yeah.
Right? And so when you're trying to keep resale in mind, there's only a few ways to trip emotional triggers. There really is. There's only a couple of ways. Do you know what they are?
I don't. Colors?
Colors.
Colors and...
Colors. So colors of your walls, colors of your floors, colors of your cabinets, colors of your counters. Right? Colors of the shower and the bathtub. If it's all yellow and whatever, let's paint it. Let's replace it. Right? So colors of everything. Your front door, your garage door, your trim, outside trim, your gutters, your roof color. Colors really drive emotion. Colors and staging.
And you know, when you talk about staging, that brings me to that kind of painting and decluttering. Because I think we just get used to our houses. We go there. We don't notice the pile of books in the corner. We don't notice the stuff that we set over here.
Right.
We don't notice all the clutter just because it kind of sneaks up on us.
So if you're thinking about what I got to do to sell, you may not need to do as much as you think if you're thinking about selling now. No, because most upgrades do not return. The big myth here is I put $5,000 in, I get that $5,000 back, or I put $5,000 in, I get $10,000 back. That's only on a few things. Most things do not have the immediate 100% return on investment unless you stay for a longer period of time. So most everything you research is going to give you that immediate return on investment number, right? But if you're going to be there 5 or 10 years, most of the stuff you really don't need to worry about.
Yeah. And that is the big myth, that I'm going to put $100,000 in this remodel. My house just went from $200,000 to $300,000.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
Right. So.
But I was surprised when we kind of looked at the list before. A simple thing like replacing the garage door.
The garage door is
I never think about my garage door.
There's a few things that always appear in the National Association of Realtor list as the best return on investment, and it's garage doors and front doors. Now, please don't go spend $10,000 on a front door and think you can get $10,000 back in the first year.
I've known people that have spent $25,000 or $30,000 on a front door.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Paint the front door, number one.
Change the hardware.
Change the hardware, right? Garage doors, though, they really do bring a pretty good return on investment.
That's so
People love them. So you can get a nice brand new door for double door for probably $5,000.
And it's funny, the difference in appearance and options and choices you have on that garage door now that you didn't have even 5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, people are very creative now. I've seen some really cool
So
ones.
when we're talking exterior, go to that roof right away. If you've not had that roof inspected in 10 years or 5 years, I'm sure you probably had hail, especially if you live in the Midwest. Give us a call. We'll send our roofer out. He comes out for free. He'll tell you if you have hail damage. Get a new roof.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to tell you what the return on investment, especially if insurance is going to help you cover that roof. Roofs are a huge insurance deal, are huge in resale right now because it's driving the cost of homeowners insurance.
Yeah, and
So
we had that big
big.
hailstorm that went through. So yeah, roofs are big, and I think, it was my old joke about why the farmer wouldn't replace his roof. Do you remember that one?
No.
When it was raining, he couldn't. When the sun was out, he didn't need to.
All right.
So your
That's
roof
Glenn
might not
having
be
fun. Glenn's trying to have fun while
your
we're being
roof might not
mental.
be leaking, but it still doesn't hurt to have somebody look at it. And,
You need to.
Right.
You need to have that roof under 15 years old,
And
preferably 10
even
or under.
even if you're not moving, you put the new roof on. A lot of times your insurance is going to come down. I know some people where the insurance wouldn't pay for the roof for whatever reason, but their premium went down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And it's really driving that cost. Okay.
So now let's go to the kitchen.
Other things.
Let's go to the kitchen.
Yeah, where are we making all our money in the house?
The kitchen
kitchens
and the bathroom.
baths. Now, if you're just thinking about some upgrades, do you need to just tear out the kitchen? No, you really don't. So for resale, really, quartz counters are big. It's a big deal. Counters, updated handles, right? And painting the cabinets can take you so far, and the return on investment there is immediate.
And that's not
great.
40 or 50,000. That might be 5 or 6,000. And some of it you can do yourself. We changed the hardware on our cabinets. It's not that hard.
Right. So we have people who can do all these things if that's what you need. But there are improvements you can make yourself. And the same thing with the bath. Replace that vanity. Vanities aren't that costly. I'm telling you. You could paint the vanity. That's the first step.
Right.
If it's a really nice one and you just don't like the color or whatever, or the color's outdated. But replacing the vanities, really, they're not that expensive to do. If you can put a double one in and you only have a single, but there's room for a double, put a double in. Spend a little money and get the second sink and have the plumber plumb that. That will go a long way. So especially in a primary bath, double sinks are a very, very big deal.
Interesting.
So just replacing the vanity and maybe the flooring and painting, and you're like, wow. Now if you have the outdated tub, if it's cultured marble, if it's fiberglass, those things can be painted and not just ripped out. So let's talk about doing those. The return on investment for those kind of upgrades are very huge in a market of low inventory. This is only because our market is such low inventory. There's not enough homes, too many people sitting on their 3%, too many people sitting on 0% because they own it outright and don't want to move. So,
we redid our whole kitchen, and we have no plans of moving. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be carried out of there. But it was just dated and old, and we decided that we're going to tear it out. So maybe we won't see that return on investment right away, but I really didn't care. I wanted a new kitchen. I wanted gas stove. I wanted the double ovens. I wanted all that.
This is the tweak when you become the empty nester, is that return on investment you don't always care about. But if you do care about return on investment, try these other tweaks. And if you're a buyer, please take a look at a house that needs these things.
That's a great
you
point.
can just do the counters, paint the cabinets, put the handles on, and voila. We have had first-time home buyers do this.
And
make a lot of money right off the bat.
And what we'll do is we'll look at that down payment. So, maybe we have $40,000, $50,000 to put down. So maybe we're only going to put down 20, and we're going to hold that money back and do all these improvements.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we bought the house under what it should have sold for because it needed these things.
Right.
That's a great strategy.
You're looking at pictures online. You go, oh, I hate that master bath vanity. They're not that expensive to replace. Trust me. And we have people to help you if that's what you need. Glenn's got some great home equity loans. He's got one, I think, that he could close in like 6 days.
It's amazing, yeah. Very high tech, great interest rate, low cost.
I don't really recommend, and when we're talking about building wealth here, using your house as an ATM machine. But if you're going to take out some money, put it back in the house and build the wealth in the real estate.
So now we got kitchens and baths. What's going to be our next step as far as?
Flooring.
Flooring.
Flooring's a big deal. I mean, wood floors are still very much in. The LVPs, though, LVP luxury, vinyl, claim. Most of those are water resistant.
It's hard to tell the difference too. I've seen them.
Yeah. Waterproof.
Right.
There are LVPs that are literally waterproof and scratch proof, not just resistant.
They look amazing, and they're not quite as expensive as the wood.
They're not, and it's the cost of what wood used to be. About $3.50 a square to install, and you can buy the LVP sometimes for $2 a square, $3 a square. So very affordable to do, and it's very accepted in the marketplace again because of low inventory. Depending on your price point, though, the more expensive you raise in the price point, the more expected we're going to expect to have wood other than LVP. Trust me on that. But it just depends on your price point. So,
what about carpet and tile?
Carpet is still selling very well. Again, because of low inventory, supply, demand, carpet's doing well. Have some wood, but if your bedrooms are carpet, if your family room's carpet, you know what? We're doing just fine with it. People are doing just fine. Get a really good one, really good, great pad though. For sure on that. No doubt about it.
All right, now let's go down to the basement.
Finished lower levels are huge. They are a big reseller because the cost of construction has gotten so expensive.
Heck yeah.
Right? So material went up, came down a little bit. The cost of labor is still very high because we can't find enough people to build the houses that are being or remodel them. So again, supply demand on labor and supplies. So if you have a finished basement, please refresh it. Go ahead and you don't have to put LVP in your lower level. I'm telling you, carpet sells just as well as the LVP on the lower levels right now because, again, low inventory. So you don't have to break the bank to refresh it. Paint it. If you have paneling, paint it. We just did one where we painted it a really, really light gray, and it just turned out beautiful. And it was an older wood paneling. It dated the house. If you can make your house feel like it's 10 years or younger, that's the goal, right? The biggest hack, though, really, too, besides after painting, I guess I missed this one, before we went to flooring, is lighting.
Oh, yes, yeah, lighting.
So really, after clean and paint, look at your lights. That is the next best return on investment I could ever recommend to you.
So those change over time.
Oh
and
my
again,
gosh.
It's something we don't think about because we're there every day.
It's not just style, it's color. So gold's in, but not the same gold as your parents, okay? Not the old gold. So
like a muted brushed gold.
Yeah, there's different colors of black is really in. So black windows, black accents outside, black accents inside, you know, these kind of things. So the style and the colors have changed a bit, and lighting's just not that expensive.
It's not a lot of it you can do yourself. I mean,
you
be
really
careful
can.
when you're with the electric, but they're not that hard to replace.
They're not that hard to replace. So whether it's a chandelier or it's a ceiling mount.
What do they call the fancy thing you put on the walls?
A sconce.
A sconce.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what. Just replace your lighting. It'll go so far. Ceiling fans, the same thing. Sometimes. I know people who just paint their ceiling fans. They paint them the newest, latest color and put new blades on them. So, I mean, there's small hacks, and then there's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to go replace it. Well, that's fine. Ceiling fans aren't that expensive. A couple $100, $180. If you can't put it in, we'll recommend somebody who can. It's well worth its upgrade to lighting. Again, make the house feel under 10 years old if you can, in any way you can. And this is why staging, if you're thinking about selling, is the next thing you move to if you can't make all the upgrades.
Right.
Because it makes the house feel younger than it is, right?
No, we did that on my mom's house. It was amazing because that house is definitely dated. And
again, emotion. Emotional triggers are colors and staging. So color of your lighting, right?
Yeah.
So it matters. So if it's extremely dated, think about changing it. So handles and lighting. Oh my gosh, yeah, the next
big ROI on that one, right?
Oh my gosh, big ROI.
So I know next one we're going to talk more about the outside, but just briefly, when you get to talk to landscaping, again, emotion. You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
It's very true.
And I do think the appearance of that house. You know, what it looks like when you pull up. And
if you're not thinking about moving for a while and you're like, hey, I want to refresh my landscaping, that's fantastic. Yeah. Think about it ahead of time because you can buy the small bush. You can buy everything really small and give it 5 years to grow, and it's going to be amazing. Right? It's going to be amazing. We'll talk about some privacy landscaping next week, but privacy landscaping is also a big thing. So you back to anything you don't really want to look at, get the small deals and let them have some time to grow.
And the landscaping, just like the inside, just the outside, just like the inside, it's subject to trends and changes over time.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that. Yeah. All right, so hopefully that helps you. Not like, when do I know? Should I go finish my basement? It's not finished at all, Glenn. Should I spend $60,000 on my basement? Well, I would recommend trying to do lower levels if you're in the price range of probably $700 or under. Is trying not to spend 60 and 70 and $100,000 on your basement. If you do, again, be there 5 or 10 years. You'll get these things back, right? But you can finish lower levels in such a way that aren't as costly. And if you can do anything yourself, oh my gosh, go finish your lower level. The return on investment.
Isn't like a project. There's always something fun you can do. Yes.
Yeah, it is big.
A friend of mine used to say that he could do anything a contractor could do. It just took him 3 times as long.
And if you have the time, I'm telling you, it's well worth it. There you go.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us this week. Next week, we're going to talk about trends, the trends in homes when you're making upgrades, and think about that. And then I think the next week after that, we'll probably get into the color trends.
That's such a big
one. The new
one,
colors, right?
Cool.
Yeah, so till then, I am your host, Angela Dillman, here at the Dillman Group at Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield. And this is my wealth building partner,
Glenn Calvin with Guild Mortgage.
And we are here to help you build wealth,
live your dream lifestyle,
and leave legacies that matter. Till then, we'll see you next week.
Thanks.